Welcome. So good to see you. This is our first time we are going live in 2023, which just feels insane that it's already 2023. And Leah and I just had a killer strategy session. So you all are in for a treat. But today we are talking all about forming habits in 2023. So as always, we are going to kick off with a starter question. When I was thinking back in December, and a lot of you were there for one of our webinars, we were talking about how the 1% gets a head start on their next year in the previous year, right? So they were starting in December of 2022 for 2023. So I started to think about what my word or my intention for 2023 was going to be. And so I'm curious, all of you in the chat, whether you're in our Facebook groups, whether you're on LinkedIn, whether you're on YouTube, whether you're on Zoom, all of the different places that we are streaming today, please put in what word are you focusing in or focusing on in 2023, put that into the chat. And if you haven't thought of that, if you're like, oh, oops, didn't realize I was supposed to do that, or oh, I didn't do that. Just what word comes to mind? You're not held to this. I just want to see like what is coming up for people. What are people's intentions for this year? Simplify. Loving that one. Loving that one. Ooh, abundance. Great one. Answers. Oh, that's a fantastic one. Love that. Love that. I feel like you would have a whole story on that one, which I would love to hear sometime. Who else? Fearless. Progress. Love these. Love these. Love these. So I had 3 for this year. Number 1 was simplicity. I am going to keep things simple, specifically in business. So you will be seeing a lot of that with Prowess Project this year of really streamlining, one message. Our second was focus. And I love this saying, where your focus goes, energy flows. It is kind of is a sister off of Simplicity and Simplify, is really focusing on exactly what I want to do so that I make progress, which is funny, Leah, that progress is yours. And then number 3 for us, or for me, was freedom. I want to be thinking about my life in a different way. We built Prowess Project to give women or caregivers freedom in their lives and in their lives, in their work, in their family, in their hobbies, and having all of this time and decisions that they can go do all of this that they want. But I realized some of the time I wasn't practicing what I was preaching. And especially now that my daughter is a 1-year-old and is walking and is like fun. I don't know if that's going to make sense to some of the moms in the room or who are watching, but now she like wants to play and wants to interact. I need to remember that I built Prowess Project for that time freedom. And if I want to go to the park with her and not, have to be butts and seats at 9 a.m., that's why I designed this. And so anyway, so that is a huge one for me, is really thinking about the freedom. Can anyone relate to that? Is freedom one of the top words or top intentions for your years or for your 2023? Any other words that we got here? These are some great ones, y'all. Really great ones. Loving seeing these. Fantastic. All right. Well, you already heard a lot about me, but for those who do not know, I am Ashley Connell, CEO and founder of Prowess Project, and very happy to be here in 2023. We are almost celebrating our 4-year anniversary, which is insane. We've done so much in the past 4 years. But again, for the newbies here, what the heck is Prowess Project? So Prowess is an online platform where we help women typically who are returning to the workforce or pivoting in their career. We help them with upskilling, networking, specifically as online business managers. So that's going to be a big thing that you see in this year is that we're really focusing on online business managers, and a lot of the content that you will be seeing will be showing that as well. Now, we don't stop there because we teach people about online business managers, but we also have a whole other program that helps them really dive into how you make those goals happen, and that's called Our Pursuit. And we have some people who are even joining in live today who are part of that program. But again, wanted to share what Prowess Project is. So while they're going through this platform and learning to be an OBM or learning to be their best selves or learning to take that pivot, we're gathering hundreds of data points on their skill, their expertise, what they want in their job, their emotional intelligence, their work style, communication style. And we use all of that to match them up with jobs. So we really want to be the one-stop shop to get to upskill, to network, and get access to jobs to help women have the flexibility and the freedom that a lot of them never knew that they possibly could. So, big problem that we saw and why we started to focus on OBM specifically is because many people said that they their background looked like more like a patchwork quilt. So they had some sales, some marketing, some ops, some tech, some HR, instead of a linear started as an accounting newbie, then went to manager, then went to specialist, et cetera, et cetera. So we really thought that this online business manager could be key. And I speak with online visionaries every day who are subject matter experts, consultants, coaches who need this person to run their business. So again, just felt like this perfect marriage. But today we are talking about habits. So for those who are watching live, put into the chat, does habits feel like a scary word? Does that feel intimidating to any of you? It does to me. Habit feels very locked in. Habit feels almost like it is something that's going to be so hard to achieve that, like, how am I even going to get started? And that's why we wanted to talk about it today. Is exactly why we wanted to talk about that today, about forming these habits. Oh, this is an interesting. A habit feels not as good as a routine. Ooh, that's very interesting. And I would love to kind of dive deeper into what that means for you later in this. But really forming habits and why that is so important in 2023. So what we're going to be talking about today, first and foremost, is we're going to split the thinking. In 2023, we're going to constantly be talking about how I actually, the COO, am the quintessential visionary and in Prowess Project. And then I have my right-hand woman who really is the backbone of Prowess Project, Leah Steinkirk, who is our COO or the integrator. So the person who is making all of this happen, making all the dreams and our plans, turning it into a reality. So today in forming habits, we wanted to break this apart and think about, okay, so how does Ashley form a habit? And what's an example of one? And then how does Leah create and form a habit? And what's an example of one? And then we're both going to volley back and forth on some top tips that we have on habits and where we learned these. So with all of that, show me in the chat who is ready to get started. I'm going to first talk about some habits or how I think about habits. Ooh, but we got some, okay, habits. Hard to start, but hopefully eventually will become automatic. Yes. I love that. All right. So how I create habits. Before I was able to create a habit that really stuck with me and something that I thought about when I was thinking through the flexibility or through the freedom, the simplicity, and the focus for 2023 is I had to understand why I wanted that habit, whatever it was going to be, why I wanted to make it happen. Like I needed to understand the why in all of this, or else I knew that I was doomed from the very beginning. And one thing that I realized while I was doing this soul searching and figuring out what my why was, is in order to, again, form this habit, I needed to tie that why and that habit to something that felt very emotional. Something that felt very, very emotional. As a human, I am much less logical, and I'm perfectly fine with saying all of this. These are not my zone of genius. I'm much less logical and plan oriented and systems thinker. I'm much less of that, more of go with my gut, passionate. It drives my husband crazy sometimes, but a lot of the times I act without thinking through. And then after the fact, I understand, like, oh, I did X, Y, and Z because of this reaction that I had, or because I felt this way, which can be really good and really exciting because I act quickly and I'm very passionate about whatever I do, but also can be kind of tough because oftentimes I don't think through all of the issues. So those are pros and cons. But going back to what we were talking about, I had to connect something that was deeply emotional to the why of why I was doing this habit. So, an example that I have is I am currently reading the book Think and Grow Rich. It has been fantastic so far. It is by Napoleon Hill. It was written in like the 1930s, right after the Great Depression, and it's all about doing a lot of um, visualizing and tying whatever you want to make happen to actually make it happen. And one of the key things in there was really visualizing on a daily basis what you want your life to look like and really get in there and feel it and feel all of those emotions. And I realized that I had to tie what my visualization was to something that was deeply emotional, which is my daughter. So the habit that I am creating so that I can anchor myself around this 3 to 5 minutes of visualization each day is when I am putting my daughter to sleep, when I am rocking her and giving her final bottle at the end of the night, which yes, I know she's 1 years old. Supposedly you're not supposed to do bottles, but that's another here nor there that I'm slowly working through. But while I am doing that, that gives me a time to sit. I think of 6 different things that I'm grateful for that happened that day, and they could be super small things to, "Hey, I saw a blue jay," to, "We got a new sale at Prowess Project." And I sit, and for a solid 3 minutes, I go through what it would feel like to be in my dream life already. And that has always felt very woo-woo to me. That has always felt like, where am I gonna find that time? Like, how am I gonna make that happen? But I connected it to, like, physical time that I am with her, and that helps me connect that emotion to the why and then make the habit happen. So that is my example. It feels, again, very woo-woo and passionate, and so I'm excited to hand it over to Leah, who may have something that's a little bit more, structured, but who knows? So, Leah, all you. Well, any questions before I continue? Okay, if you do, put them in the chat, and, Leah, I'm handing it over. I absolutely love that. And for those who are in Facebook, if you cannot hear Leah from the StreamYard, hop into the Zoom. Leah, will you remind me that we need to figure out StreamYard? Put it on the list. All right.